Hello students, welcome back to our English class. In this particular video, I'm going to give you the explanation of the first poem from your textbook Treasure Trove. The name of the poem is The Heart of the Tree. The poet's name is Henry Cuyler Bunner. Now, let us know something about the poet. Henry Cuyler Bunner was an American novelist, journalist and poet who has written feelingly about the benefits of planting a tree. His poem describes the innumerable benefits of trees and the shade and shelter they bring to all life. He claims that people who plant trees plan for a future and for people they do not know. On another level, planting a tree is a symbolic act of goodness, one from which many other acts of goodness will sprout. Although written over a century ago, the poem is very relevant in an age where rapid and reckless development and urbanization are taking their toll on the environment. So, student, actually Henry Cuyler Bunner, our poet of the poem The Heart of the Tree, stresses upon the activity of planting trees and their usefulness to all life on earth, right? I repeat, he stresses upon the activity of planting trees and their usefulness to all life on earth. It is written in such a way that whatever the poet has said when he wrote this poem is actually very relevant, particularly nowadays. And if we see, we will also see that we have become relentless in making advancement of civilization, means civilization through urbanization and industrialization. And in this way, what we have done is that we have disconnected ourselves from the mother nature. That means, in the name of civilization, the progress we have made in science and technology has disconnected us from our mother nature. The poem sends out a message actually, students, through this poem. Most of the time we find that the poet actually sends out a message. So, in this particular poem also we find that the poet is trying to send out a message that actual flourishment or the progress of civilization can only be attended, the welfare of human society can only be attended if we live in harmony with nature. I repeat, if we live in harmony with nature, means that is one of the best ways, to bring upon our progress. And what is the best way? That one of those best ways that poet has suggested us. Now, one of those best ways is to plant trees. So, students, let us read out the poem first. What does he plant who plants a tree? He plants a friend of sun and sky. He plants the flag of breezes free, the shaft of beauty towering high. He plants a home to heaven and I for song and mother croon of bird. In hushed and happy twilight heard the treble of heaven's harmony. These things he plants who plants a tree. How beautifully he has written. Now, coming to the next answer, what does he plant who plants a tree? He plants a cool shade and tender rain and seed and bud of days to be, and years that fade and flush again. He plants the glory of the plain. He plants the forest's heritage, the harvest of a coming age, the joy that unborn eyes shall see. These things he plants who plants a tree. What does he plant who plants a tree? He plants in sap and leaf and wood, in love of home and loyalty, and far cast thought of civic good. His blessings on the neighborhood. Who is the hollow of his hand? Who in the hollow of his hand holds all the growth of our land? A nation's growth from sea to sea, stars in his heart who plants a tree. So students, now we will see that in every first line of each of these three stanzas, students, actually the poet himself has asked the same question. He has repeated the question with which he has begun the poem. What does he plants who plants a tree? And he has given the answer himself. He has enlisted all the benefits of the activity that is generated out of planting a tree. Now, in the second stanza also, he is repeating the same question and enlisting the benefits. In the final stanza also, he is repeating. So, student, here we must remember that this is not a casual question. Though he is asking the question, see there is a question mark, he is asking the question and he himself is giving the answer. So it might seem simple to you that he himself is asking and giving the answer. What's the big deal in it? It's his view, his perspective, but don't take it as a casual question, student. Why? That we are going to learn through this poem, and let me start explaining the poem to you stanza wise. Now student, we have to remember that in the very first line he is asking that what does who plant a tree actually do to us, or rather what does he plant who plants a tree? The question is very simple, very straightforward, that what does a person who plants a tree does? Actually, what is being the outcome of this activity of planting a tree? So, as I told you that this is not a casual question. He himself is answering to this question and he says that these are the benefits of planting the trees. He is enlisting one after the other the benefits. He is saying that a tree is the friend of sky and sun. Why? He is saying that the tree is the friend of sky and sun and sky. So, why he has said that? This is because it reduces the temperature. It means I am trying to mean that the trees actually reduces the temperature as it attracts the rain and collects energy from the sun. And in this way, the trees purifies the air by producing oxygen. Thus, it creates a friendly and pleasant environment overall. A tree swaying in the breeze. So, here it is being said that he plants the flag of breezes free, the shaft of beauty towering high. He plants a home to heaven anigh for song and mother croon of bird in hushed and happy twilight heard. So, a tree swaying in the breeze looks as calm and joyful as we feel when we see a flag fluttering in the breeze. The poet here describes the tree as the shaft of the beauty towering high. Shaft means here shaft, see here the shaft means long narrow pole, and towering means standing tall. The tree standing tall, swaying gracefully is a pleasing sight. It shows its nurturing abilities. And what is the meaning of anigh? Anigh means nearby. So, a person who plants a tree actually brings heaven near his home. He is actually bringing heaven near to us, closer to us, which is our home. Our earth is our home. So, by planting a tree, a tall towering tree, he is actually bringing the heaven closer to us, near his home. Now, the next three lines in hushed for song and mother croon of bird in hushed and happy twilight heard, the treble of heavens harmony. What is meant by these 3 lines? The next 3 lines further elaborates that the mother croon of bird. Mother croon of bird means the lullaby sung by the mother bird during the twilight to make her babies fall asleep. So, actually here the poet tried to mean that the lullaby song, the mother croon of bird, the lullaby sung by the mother bird during the twilight to make her babies fall asleep, to soothe them, to put them to sleep. It is the time, it is that time. It is what time? Twilight. Twilight means evening time, when it is not yet dark, but we know that it is the time that the bird actually returns to their nest during this time and settle in their home for night. It is a quiet time because the day's activities are over and the entire bird family loads in the coziness of the family living together. So, it is at this time that we hear the treble of heaven's harmony. What is meant by treble? See, treble means high pitched singing, or some high pitched singing or some instrumental sound which is high pitched. Any melody which is high pitched is known as treble. So, this treble harmony refers to calmness and peacefulness. So, when the mother bird is singing the lullaby to her baby to put them to sleep, to soothe them in the twilight hour, the sound in atmosphere becomes harmonious and heavenly. I repeat, the sound in the atmosphere becomes harmonious and heavenly. These things he plants when the person plants a tree. So, these things he plants who plants a tree. So, these are the things that the poet has enlisted in the whole of first stanza, and he is saying that these are the things he plants when a person plants a tree. Thus, the poet answered to the question he posed in the very first line, right?